Hey everybody, Mike again. And today I've got the strange idea to take a make automation and turn it into an actual website using no code. So take a no code automation and using no code, create a web app or even a SaaS. I'm sure we could do a lot of things with this. In case you don't remember, I'll leave a link to this video too that shows how I created this and what it actually creates. So it basically takes a keyword that you give it and it gives you all of this great information. Look at all these keywords. It's crazy what this does. So I'm going to see if I can turn this into a web app. I'm going to be using Roo Code, which is my new favorite thing in the whole world. It is absolutely amazing. I've been playing with it for a few days. That's why I haven't posted a video, but I finally figured out a lot of issues I was having. So to get this to all work, you will need to get VS Code, you will need Roo Code, and I'm going to use OpenRouter, which was the biggest suggestion when you have the rate limits with using Anthropic's API is to use OpenRouter's AI. When you open up your VS Code, all you need to do is go to your extensions here and then search for Roo Code. I couldn't even spell it right and still found it. Your Roo Code right here. Like I said, this is an absolutely amazing program. I'm loving this so much. I am creating websites like crazy. I even had people contact me already, local businesses. So that's teaser coming later. This architect mode is absolutely amazing. Code mode does great. I just love this right now. I want to show you guys how easy it is by just giving it a simple prompt and you just let it run. We'll see what happens, right? So to start off, I basically am giving it a very simple prompt. Now, once again, I am not a coder. My coding knowledge is 20 years ago. The last website I built, I was using, I think, Dreamweaver. Not the song, but the Adobe program Dreamweaver. Anybody use that before? That was like the last time I ever coded a website, because right after that, everything was pretty much built for you. I've always loved website building. It's just very complicated, a lot to learn. And this has made it really fun to kind of get back into it. We're going to use DataForSEO for this. If you don't have a DataForSEO account and you're spending a lot of money with places like Ahrefs, SEMrush, you really need to look at DataForSEO. It is so cheap. I haven't been using it that much lately. Well, I guess I have been. But even that was 16 cents one day. And then even yesterday, I was doing a bunch of testing, barely spent 2 cents with a lot of testing. I'll leave a link to this in the description. This is the API that we're going to call. So it's the Google Live Autocomplete. There are a lot of fine details that you can really dial down with this too to add to your app. The biggest ones I'd like to mention though is cursor pointer, which I mentioned in my last video, where I have this cursor pointer here, because what that does, here, let's open up but when you're in Google and you're searching for things, the cursor pointer takes how many letters you have and then it adds to it. So as you can see, if I start Google A, you get different things. If I do B, you get different things. So I really love the cursor pointer. At first I didn't understand it, but now I completely do. And like I said, that's how I use it in this. So like what digital cameras are, and it's 24 spaces. I just have a simple thing that shows me that. For example, if I type, and so then it would give me all of these. These are all my returns that I would get, because it's taking the next letter after this next character, which is the 24th character. So taking the 25th character, and then it's going to give me all of these. So that's a super powerful thing to have. And once again, I recommend watching this if you just want to build the make automation, which is really simple to do. You basically just create this once, then copy it twice. But I'm using different things for each option. But of course, the nice thing is DataForSEO gives me the script that I need. So we are going to do this in Python. So I'm going to give my AI the Python script. I could give it this. There's tons of them on here. But I'm going to give it Python. Because if you read my simple script here, I want to use a Flask. Works a little better for this situation that I've noticed. I'm giving it the API. Here's the script right here. I'm also telling it that these will eventually be user entered variables like the English, United States, the keyword, the cursor pointer. I also mentioned that I want to make a cursor pointer calculator so it knows when to change this number. So that's basically it. I think I'm just going to copy this into Roo Code and see what happens. The best thing I like to do first is make sure you're on Architect. Down here at the bottom, when you click on that, there's code, architect, asked, and debug. So I always start on architect, and then I am in a new task. I do want to mention though, I am using Open Router now. And of course, just put your API key. I am using 3.7 Sonnet. I'm going to paste this in here. Now, I like to use this image enhance prompt, but considering I already have this code in here, I'm kind of hesitant to do it because I don't want it to rechange my code, which it has done to me in the past. I've tested this many times. So I'm going to give it something very basic. Oh, and you know what I'm going to do at the end here? So I'm just going to ask, please ask any questions to verify what I'm asking for. Okay, so we have architecture. We're all good to go. I have no file structure right now, just to show you guys. I'm going to let it control that. I even mentioned it in here. It says you are in an empty project. You will need to create the file structure. Let's see what happens and go. So right away, we get our first questions here. What specific data from the... So it's asking what data is going to come back from the call. And if I just look at my spreadsheet, so basically it asked if I could clarify a few details. It asked what specific data, what kind of data you want displayed. I just kind of mentioned that in the call, there will be an item called subtopics. I would like to display that, plus the location, language, cursor pointer. I will let you decide on styling. We can change it later. And I'm going to leave all the other stuff up to the AI too, just to see what happens. So let's see what happens. So I guess that would be the first adjustment I would make to this, is we're just going to get rid of this. And so once again, now it's going in and creating our file structure. It's creating our Flask app. So it's explaining how we're going to do that. I mean, this is just amazing how it does this. It's going to use pandas. And so when you get to this point, just review everything. And if you have questions, don't be afraid to say, what is this? You know, copy this into your box here and say, what is this? And now I already have auto approve set up where it can switch between modes. Now that might be a little too advanced for some people. Maybe you might want to do that. But this here, it will actually switch between architecture and code and ask. And also, I'm not using the MCP servers. I've been playing with this a lot too. This is very powerful, and I'll have to create another video for that one. And it should switch to code mode. And so now it's creating our plan. It is weird that it's making an HTML file. Last time I told it to do a Flask app, it didn't give me any HTML, so I don't know what it's doing. Here's what we're going to do. Here's what it's going to be. I don't know. We'll see. So now it's creating the Flask app, and I'm really curious too if we're going to create the cursor pointer thing. So now it's basically just checking all the directories that it created, and we'll just continue to say yes. I've been noticing too this double entry stuff. I don't know if anybody else has been getting that lately. I don't know if this is an error or not. And it's usually only on simple stuff, like it says, you know, let me check this, let me check this. It only does it when it's small things. I don't know if that's one of their workarounds to the context window thing they were having issues with. Now we're creating a README file. Oh, I forgot to change my terminal. So basically now we're just kind of installing everything locally so we can test. So it's installing Flask and the certain requirements. It's running the requirements.txt file basically. So once again, that's something you don't have to do. Okay, so we're 20 minutes in, 75 cents basically. It kind of gave up on me. It was trying to do something. But let me go ahead and log in let me put my login and password in this, and I'll be right back. So I just want to mention that when you go to your DataForSEO account, you just have to click on your API access. This is your login and this is your password. When you first sign up, your password is visible for the first like 24 hours. So I would copy it right away. But if not, just send it by an email and you'll get it right away. Okay, so I was trying to add it myself. It actually deleted it, as you can see. And now it's asking me for the credentials. So I'll put the credentials in and then I'll come back. Okay, so I forgot to restart my camera. We're still trying to install I gave it my my password and all that stuff. Now we're having the typical errors building the Panda thing. It's so funny when I do this stuff when I'm testing without recording. I seem to never run into these issues, and I build stuff in like no time at all. I don't know if it's because I'm recording, if I'm using more memory or something. It's so weird how I don't have these issues when I'm not recording. But when I'm recording, it's like I seem to run into every possible issue. Now, it will work its way out. I think it just did, actually. Let's see if we have an app. All right, let's click on it and see what it looks like. Wow, that's very basic, but it works. So I'm just going to go ahead and use previous data because I know what works. So I'm going to copy that. And let's see if the cursor pointer updates. Oh, it actually did. So if you look at the cursor pointer, when I put it in, it went right to it. So English, United States. And let's just search and see what happens. Huh. Okay, so I know the issue is DataForSEO's return call. I'm probably gonna have to tell it because what I want. Okay, so the long and the short of it is when we get this return back from DataForSEO, you know, this is like we get a ton of data, right? And I need it to iterate or whatever it needs to do because here's what I actually want is this stuff here. And obviously there's going to be more than one. Sometimes there's 10, sometimes there's 20. So I'm going to tell it, you know, this is what I actually want. Let's see if I can figure it out because right now I'm at a loss. So the first thing we're going to do is stop this from running. So you just do Control C. I don't know what you're going to try to do. I'm going to switch this to ask. And I do want to mention I put it in ask mode because I didn't want it going to town trying to fix it. And so hopefully here it's actually figuring that out. I mean, it seemed to know right away what I wanted. So that was good. But one of the things I love most about using like Roo Code, you know, not only does it figure it out, but it goes through all the files and the data and says, this is what we need. This is what we want. This is how we want it to look. And now it's making suggestions. So I'm just going to let it roll with it. Let's go ahead and switch to code mode. So what I did is I gave it a really bad prompt and I used the enhance button here. And as you can see, it gives a nice, good prompt. So let's see if, I don't know what that means. I doubt it fixed it that fast. And I think we still have it running. So let's close that. Wow, how's that for you? I didn't expect that to work that fast. But yeah, there's my suggestions. I guess we could try adding this stuff too. I don't know if it's in the actual code or not though. So I'm just going to have it fix that. So one of the easiest ways to fix this stuff is to give it a screenshot. So I'm going to give it a screenshot what it did and see if we can get this fixed. And I just used the snipping tool for that. Okay, so all I'm doing is I'm giving it a screenshot. I'm telling it, make sure this stuff is actually filled out because as we can see here, these were not filled out correctly. And plus I don't need all this extra gibberish. I'm going to enhance. I love to enhance. Yeah, let's see what happens. And once again, these are simple changes that I could have changed myself. You know, you don't need to be a coder to do this stuff. You could literally, I could have gone in there and deleted that stuff. But it's fun just to let it do it for you. So that way it's actually done right. And then it checks its own work. And then, you know, unlike me who would go in here and, you know, delete some random thing and then never know what I did wrong. I mean, this just makes it so much nicer. And anybody can do this. Wants to run it again. There is our app. Let's go ahead and grab our keyword. Let's go ahead and paste. English, United States, cursor pointer is the right amount because if I hit a space, it'll go to 25, then it goes to 24. Let's search. Wow, just like that. Boom. I want to show you though why this is so powerful. So let's just go ahead and open up a new incognito window. You have to use incognito windows when you're doing this or else it uses your own cookies and data and stuff. So let's just go to Google. Oh, I went to Google Fonts again. Can we just go to Google? And so what we're going to do is search for this. And as you can see, my results here, what digital cameras are influencers using? What digital cameras are influencers using? What cameras are better than the iPhone? Better than the iPhone. What cameras are good? Good, trending, full frame. As you can see, it pulls all of these results by just adding a simple keyword, adding the cursor pointer, you get all those results. Just like that. Now, I'm trying to think of what else I would love to do to add to this. There's a million things I'd love to do. If there's anything you guys would love to see, give me a, you know what, and leave a comment on, you know, what else could I do with this? You know, what's the next step? But as you can see, I took my basic make automation and now I have it as a complete website that I can host on my servers or possibly sell as a SaaS application. Let me know what you guys think. Let me know if you want me to take this any further or we'll see where this goes, right? I mean, this was fun. Oh, I forgot to mention before I go. So I think it was about $2 before I restarted the window. So let's just call this $5. So this cost me about $5 and about 40 minutes of my time to create this from scratch using no code. And of course, I'll leave links in below and all that. So I'll catch you on the next one. Have a good one.